All right, here we go.
Yeah,
What's up,
man.
THP? Illiterate and JDax back with you. We're going to recap day one of the Grandaddy and all its glory. So let's just jump right in. We'll try to make this video a little shorter tonight. So what are your thoughts on day one? I mean, THP came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, they did. When we looked at it last night and talked a little bit about it, I thought that the pairings, keeping them together. I think you can't say enough about probably how much thought either Philly and T4K have put into the pairings because it gave them a chance.
Yeah.
And we thought that look, if things broke their way, it'd give them a chance. And look, in the Shamble format, they came out of the gates early.
4.5 to 1.5.
Yeah, and it also helped. I'm just going to click here and remind myself. It did help that it didn't feel as if the Zoo Crew made as many birdies as they did potentially last year out of the gate. And so
I mean, you saw a few of those birdies, didn't you? Like rolling them in off the fringe. Bombs.
Yeah, look, they played extremely well last year. Yeah, I had a front row seat. Me and Cobra did to. In fact, right out of Shamble, I know that AJ and Scotty made 4 birdies in a row. We were even par through 4 and down 4. Right, not so much today as that they get 4.5 right out of the gate. 4.5 to 1.5.
I mean, they ensured that it was going to matter on day 2 right out of the gate, first session, 4.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like sort of the reoccurring theme for this team. After what happened last year, I think that the reoccurring theme was, as you saw it a couple of times. In fact, hashtag came up with the hashtag, make Thursday great again, or matter again, or whatever. Which was kind of clever. They got there because so right out of the gate they get 4.5 points. Kev came out and played really, really well. That team, it comes out of the gate. They beat Finley and Pete 3-1. Your boy Scott comes out swinging. I mean, they came out swinging. I think they birdied like the first 3 holes, so it was kind of like in a reverse fashion. And for a brief moment, it sort of looked like, oh, wait a minute.
A lot of green on the board.
Yeah, there was a ton of green on the board. And, of course, I'm following along basically in a training class, attempting to sort of refresh the scorecard on the Google thing, on the Google Docs. And they came out right out of the gate. Big momentum, I think, was that Boater ROGT match where it looked as if like Harry and hashtag were going to, sort of steal that point at the end. And then big birdie. Big par. They were able to win it with a par on the 9th hole of that match to get that half a point. And it was big because they came out of the gate sort of 4.5 to 1.5. And there was excitement reverberating throughout THP country, right?
Yeah. So you go to the second session. We go to Pinehurst, and it was a different ballgame. A lot of red on the board here.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, the format changed, and so when you the stronger team on paper in that type of format has a distinct advantage because. In Pinehurst, it helps if both of the guys on the team and that pairing can hit the fairway. And that's what it sort of looked like they were able to accomplish. The Pinehurst format, because of the nature of it being slightly alternate shot, probably played to the Zoo Crew's advantage, and that's what we sort of saw as we were only able to get a half a point out of that second session. So the Zoo Crew comes back with a vengeance. So like if Shamble was like the Death Star blowing up, well then Pinehurst is absolutely like the Empire Strikes Back. Like it's sort of like, I thought for a second, I was like, well, forget making Thursday matter. Can they get enough points here to where they had a lead going into this thing?
Yeah.
But no, as far as some of the matches go, believe it or not, that the Kev match again against Finley and Pete, where Finley and Pete win, but they only win one up there. Yeah. And it sort of felt like that match slipped away from us because early on it looked like that we were going to take that match, which would have been really clutch, because at that point you could have been tied at 6-all.
Yep.
But you weren't, and so big momentum swing in the second session. And in my Pinehurst experience, Cobra's going to kill me.
You spent a lot of time hitting 3 off the tee, or playing from the native area, right, Cobra?
Yeah. So you can ask Cobra. He'll post it. He'll vouch for this. I didn't miss a fairway in Pinehurst. He only hit 1. So either I was trying to hack it out of native area, or I was dropping, or I was asking Cobra where he thought that the ball entered the hazard, or there was one time that I had to walk through the woods and play a shot from like an adjacent bunker on a greenside bunker on an adjacent hole. So you want to talk about a situation where it's sort of embarrassing because you have another group coming up the hole. Hey, hold on, let me try to play this out of there. So yeah, and again, the format probably is what told the story there. Besides the Kev and Days match that sort of slipped right out of our hands, the other big match there is the Boater ROGT pairing, where they're able to get us a half on the final hole of that match. So yeah, that was really big. And you go into best ball, which is also a format that would favor the Zoo Crew, you would think, right?
Yeah.
You go into best ball blood, 2 down.
Not as much blood, in best ball from Pinehurst. But yeah, the Pinehurst format definitely favors the Zoo Crew heavily. With 10 single-digit handicaps there for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, best ball. We go into that. What are your thoughts on best ball?
Well, I think this is where sort of, the format did favor the Zoo Crew again, but I mean, I think that there were some signs that potentially, we're only 2 points down. You're not getting run out of the building. You're not getting boat raced. So there was a little bit of, sort of, I mean, even myself, I mean, people were calling me out, like posting my numbers like they were legit, saying, hey, you made them minus 220. Look at it. They're about to go all square. Well, yeah, I mean, but again, best ball, if you look at some of the things, let me just go back over it real quick, because I was actually knee deep in training while best ball happened. Army and the captain, Army Golf and the captain go out. They win 2-1. Space Mountain, my man Space Mountain Phil and Shane sort of had a match sort of slip away from us. It was really sort of like that Kev match where it looked for a second where they make a birdie late in that match, like on the 6th hole, and they're 2 up with 3 to play. And here comes D-Nevs and Ian, and they were able to win that 8th hole with a par, and then they birdie the final one, and they get a half there, which would have been a really big point. The other match of note there is also, again, I hate to keep bringing them up, but and they didn't win a full point all day. The Boater ROGT pairing, though, they halved every match.
Yeah.
So, and they did it every time in spectacular fashion. In this particular case in best ball, they're 2 down with 2 to play.
come back and win both.
And they come back and grind us out of half. And so those were big.
Kind of like the time that we did that in regional rivalry, huh?
Yeah,
or maybe I did that in regional rivalry.
Okay. I
mean,
was I not?
JB's head.
Well, yeah. Look. We needed a birdie right there on the last hole, and I just called it like a little heelish and a little thin, and almost killed JB. But
it happens.
It happens, and we were going for it. At the end of the day, it's 11-7, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not bad, but it does put you in a hole going into day two. When you look at the math, you need 15.5 to win. That means you're going to have to go out there and win 8.5 points tomorrow. There's 12 available. So it's a tall task. Is it impossible? No, but it's a very tall task.
In this type of format, it's possible. Yes. Is it likely? Probably not very. It's not extremely likely, but the Zoo Crew could have a meltdown like the U.S. team had at Medina.
Yeah.
A lot of it probably depends on some of the early matches, and we'll get to the singles pairings. I will say this: looking over the singles pairings that just came out a minute ago, this gives you your best chance. If you need 8.5 points, this is a damn good strategy to try to get them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tall order, no doubt.
Yep.
We said yesterday that it would take a Herculean effort to probably beat them. I still believe that, but I'm not going to lie to you. They're in way better shape than I thought they would be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in your opinion, who seems to be, who stands out to you as playing the best golf right now on Team THP?
Of course, just judging by what we see on the form, I like that Boater ROGT pairing is playing extremely well. I'd like to give hats off to almost every team produce some sort of points except for one, some sort of points today for Team THP as they got to their 7. So everyone has contributed a little bit here. But the people that come off the top of my head, ROGT, Army, flat out playing his ball. The captain's playing well. Boater, making some big things happen. And I think you have to give a shout out to Kev right now. Everybody was talking about how well he played.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So let's just talk about one of the variables between now and tomorrow. That's the nest. So I believe the guys are at the nest right now. So
yes, they are probably at the nest as we speak.
So what advice do you have for them? Because last year when you guys went there, you had nothing to win, you had nothing to lose. They're still in this, somewhat. So what advice do you have for these guys to get into the nest, to see it, take a picture with the clown, and get out of there? What's going on?
Last year, we were all, so it was an epic collapse of sort of biblical proportions. But by the time we got to the nest, we were tired of losing. I remember looking at Cobra say, look, we may have lost today, but we ain't losing tonight. Okay, we're gonna win tonight.
Cobra definitely did not lose that night, or maybe he did. I don't know.
Well, he did puke in the Uber on the way home. So, man, we were a hot mess express at the nest. But at that point, the win was totally. We got clipped for 15 points. What were we down?
15.5.
Okay, so it was so large that you couldn't even figure the juice. You know what I'm saying? So we decided to win. This is a little bit different, and this team's a little bit different. And I think that more than likely, they're not going to try that. They're not going to try to win tonight. You can't win the Grandaddy at the nest. You can lose it there.
Yeah.
So I think that they need to be very careful tonight. Look, go in, soak up the atmosphere, dance with a granny with a replaced hip, take a picture with the clown, and by 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, agreed.
Because y'all still have a chance. We got people passing out on the floor of the hotel lobby. And look, that guy, not naming any names, he was up 3 with 3 to play the next day, and maybe one of the greatest efforts in Grandaddy history that no one really knows about. I love you, Blake. I love you. Because that was impressive. Because I mean, we went from like having to get a wellness check to, dude, he may win his match, and he ended up grounding out a half a point. So. Yeah, I hope they have a lot of fun. They've done a really good job of updating us. The video updates have been top notch, and it seems like that Callaway has delivered the time of their lives again.
So has there been an official announcement yet on if the Grandaddy returns next year? Do we know? I wasn't able to follow along. I had to just kind of refresh the Google thing today too, because I was in that meeting. So have you seen anything, heard anything?
I'm not going to lie to you. I was able to post during breaks today. If it was announced, I didn't see it. God willing, it does, because for those of us in the community, it's our favorite sort of time of the year. What do you like better, Christmas or Grandaddy season? This guy likes Grandaddy
season. Mr. Jeter, Grandaddy season.
Yeah, Grandaddy season. But I hope so. This team has done a phenomenal job of representing the community, and so if it didn't come back, it wouldn't be anything that they did, I don't think.
Yeah. So let's get into the pairings for day 2 for singles. So let's go through those.
Yeah. So
who goes out first?
So it looks like Ethan and ROGT are going to go out first.
All right.
So that's a really solid way to start. And in fact, before we go through this, I'm going to let you know that if there is a chance for this to happen, this is the type of sort of pairings that you sort of make. This is an evenly matched situation. Obviously, ROGT has played really well, but I mean, he's salty, man. He's very good. He's not going to make many mistakes. This will set the tone, because if you can get a point there, well, then all of a sudden it's 11-8, and because I think that the next match favorite, actually, when I post some odds on the singles match, I'm actually gonna probably put Kev as a favorite in the next match. So Newbarth goes out against Kev. And I like our chances there. So if you could get this first match in and then you like Kev's chances, well, then all of a sudden it's 11-9. You got 10 matches left. So this is the type of format, or this is the type of pairings that the captain had to make to give us a chance. So I totally hats off to him.
Yeah.
Third match is Ian versus Shane. Shane's going to get about 6 pops in there. So we'll see how it goes. That's a very tough match, and Shane's going to have to make the most of those 6 pops that he's getting.
Yeah.
To sort of make that happen. Fourth match on the card, which would be Harry. And the traditional captain versus captain match, T4K goes out. Harry's going to be laying some pops. And Harry's got a really good singles record. So we'll see. We'll have to see how that goes today. So the fifth match out is Luke. And historically speaking, or
Luke,
maybe not. Luke, I am your father. Luke.
This will be post-Nest Luke, right?
Post-Nest, dude, the pre-Nest Luke, post-Nest Luke. It doesn't matter what Luke. Did not tell you last night. It doesn't matter.
You did. He's not a man, he's a machine.
Right.
Like a piece of iron.
He is like a machine. He goes out against Days. And I hear that Days played really well today. Finley gave him the moniker of Mr. 24. Yeah, man, that's a Papa-palooza. I mean, Luke's probably going to be laying like 22, 21 pops, man.
Wow.
So it's at least one a hole. There'll be several holes where it's two, and
I'll
this
be
is where
interested
you
to see what kind of line value you play there.
I mean, this is where you start to see what the captain's gambit is here. And so instead of putting stick on stick, the captain's going to try to use the pop situation to our advantage and attempt to sort of steal some points via pops if he can get one of these higher caps on the par train. So I mean, yeah, I like it. Next match is Pete against Clayton. I don't know how well Clayton played today, but he's going to get about 6 here.
It'll be a good match.
It should be a good match. I probably put Pete as a slight favorite. This is a very interesting match. Phil, Space Mountain. Woo! You got me a 1.5 today, Phil.
Yeah.
Didn't get me 2, but I'm still going to call you Space Mountain because you're the oldest ride in the park.
I mean, did we get any confirmation? Did Phil play from 6,500 yards today? I mean, is he going to play the senior teams tomorrow?
I can remember. I'm following along on Google, so I didn't really get. I didn't really get, like, we definitely wanted to know that, right? And we didn't really get it. But I will say, a 1.5.
That's solid.
Solid. He catches D Nevs tomorrow. My man D Nevs catches him tomorrow. In this situation, we're going to be laying. So here's another match. Here's a match where we're actually going to lay. Kevin's probably going to lay maybe 1. Phil's going to lay probably around 4. Hideaway adjusted. I'll be very interested to see where he plays tomorrow. The next match, Tyler goes out against Blue Hen. So here's another spot where the captain does it again, where here's one of the better players on the Zoo Crew, but he goes for Papa-palooza, and that has the tendency to maybe try to. I think that the gambit is to try to get some halves out of some of this Papa-palooza, right?
And I think
you get a couple halves.
Here's the thing: is you don't need halves. You need wins if you're going to win. You need 8.5 points tomorrow. But I know what you're saying.
Right.
I'm hoping to get something from it.
Right. You're hoping to get something from it. I mean, and I like it. Yeah, I do agree with you. You need wins tomorrow to try to win this thing. I don't disagree. But in certain situations, if you can get a half here, you don't have to win all the matches. So you could still do this with a couple halves. Hashtag. This is one that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Hashtag goes out against Army in a very even matchup. If anything, hashtag may be laying 1. It's probably one of the more interesting matchups on the card, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about very evenly matched up, let's see how it goes there. Hashtag. And the only reason I know this is because every year around Granddaddy season, I'm also reminded about times that hashtag got closed out. Maybe a singles record. Hopefully he gets he gets it going. But the Army's a tough draw, and maybe hashtag tends to draw tough in these spots. So we'll see how he does. Tomorrow, Velardo against Scott. I mean,
that should be a fun one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun one. I think this one that
I think Scott's going to be really happy. He gets to play with Velardo.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So back-to-back fun follows there. We'll see how it goes. I do know that against a Velardo last year, Cobra won maybe not 1, but 2 holes with the triple. So we'll see how it goes.
So wait a minute. Cobra made triple and 1.
Yeah. He. I do remember him telling me that he won.
That's the case.
He won at least 1. Yeah, he won at least 1 hole with the 8. Remember how I told you that it didn't matter what type of loop, pre-nest loop, post-nest loop, it doesn't matter. I think that Velardo, post-nest Velardo is probably. Well, it's probably a hindrance to his handicap. Let's just throw that out there. Second to last match, the penultimate pairing features AJ. God, this is going to be a fun partners, I guess, because if you look at it, I'm going to assume that AJ and Finley are going to ride together tomorrow in the final two pairings with Al. Cool thing is you get M. Peterson, whose pairings had a rough day today, and I'm not really sure why that happened or what went down, because I wasn't watching it blow by blow so much. I got caught up on the forum and read it as I go. And then the last match, Finley and Boder go out against each other. Finley's going to lay about 3, maybe 4, depends upon how the way adjusted
so
for Boder.
give me some commentary here. I know this is
real quick.
Close to your heart. So Boder draws Finley. What advice do you have for Boder?
I mean, like I said last night, what do you want me to tell? I can't tell him how to beat him. You're gonna. I mean, what do you want me to say? No, I mean, he's gonna learn tomorrow that Finley's probably one of the coolest dudes. That last group, I would, if I was following along, that would be one of the groups. If I was the vice captain, I'd probably be following that group along, because they're gonna have a whole lot of fun tomorrow. Try to keep the ball in front of you. He's going to make putts, and he tends to start off pretty hot in singles. Yep. So, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that he would that they would draw somebody else, because Boder's been playing pretty decent, and really, I'm just sort of looking. I'm rooting for us tomorrow, but I'm not rooting for us in this match.
I'm looking for. You're ready to get that behind you.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next victim. So, I mean, 12 months of parade my soul around
is enough, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough because I haven't had a problem with it, honestly, but. Because I didn't, if I didn't want that to happen,
you took it like a champ. You took it like a champ, and I think Finley respects that. He just likes to play it up. So what's final prediction for tomorrow? What do you think? I mean, who wins? And then can you give us a score, like what you think the final score is going to be?
Well, I mean, if Team THP wins, it's going to be right on the number.
So 15.5 to 14.
So if they are to win tomorrow, it's going to be right on the number, Mike. I'm not going to tell.
I mean, do you see 8 wins out of this group, or 7 wins and 3 halves? I mean, what do you see?
I'll tell you what I do see. I see 5 matches. I see 5 matches where I haven't set the lines yet. I see 5 matches that could be very, very close, and you could make a case. You could make a case that the Finley match on paper is going to be close, but I also know in the back of my mind that it's death taxes in Finley on singles day at the Holloway. So I'm not really counting that as close, but if somehow he can make it close, that's 6 very interesting sort of matches, right?
Yeah.
Hashtag that Army hashtag match is 7. That could, everything has to break their way, but it's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
You asked me last night.
It's
not impossible. If Team THP wins tomorrow, it's going to be right on the number. It's going to be 15.5. If the Zoo Crew wins, it could be somewhere in the neighborhood like 18-12.
18-12.
Because in order for us to pull off, like in the back of my head, it's sort of like, it's not impossible, but I mean, it sort of reminds me of like the 1980 Winter Olympics, where you have to have like everything happen right, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Do you believe in miracles? That whole deal. It'd have to go down just like that. You need 8.5 points, man. And so every one of these sort of toss-up matches that I sort of threw out to you as we went through the pairings, all of them have to go our way.
Yeah. I'm going to go
what do you
probably
think?
18-12, 19-11, something like that. Zoo Crew. That's my thought. But I'm with you. I think if we do win, it's going to be on the number, something like that. But I think 8.5 is just a lot to ask for. I mean, but can it be done?
Doubt.
Yes.
Yes, it absolutely can be done. And a lot of what's going to go into determining whether or not this is going to get done or not is happening right now at the
nest.
Because I'm going to tell you something. I know of a certain dream crusher that's not getting out of that bus. Okay, no. He's staying on the bus. He's going back to the hotel. He's going to get a good night's sleep. And honestly, if you have to have everything break your way, it could come down to that final match. It really could. If everything goes your way, and now
Boder right now is in the nest, huh?
I mean, absolutely, he's in the nest. I almost didn't go. I mean, I had to sort of get. Luke gave a very inspirational pre-nest talking to the team. Where he said, I don't want to hear any of you guys complaining, where else can you go where you can dance with the grandma and then meet a clown? And once that happened, I was like, okay, I'm going with you. I mean, and then of course at the nest, this is where that our captain came up with like the really good plan that we thought at the time is like, let's get as hungover as we possibly can so it help us concentrate tomorrow.
It sounds like you just kind of begrudgingly went. It sounds like a time when I was.
But once I got it,
let's go out tonight. You're like,
right. I mean, but once I got into the place,
you were locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I was locked in. I mean, I wasn't on the first Uber out of that place. I was locked in. If they're gonna have fun tonight, we'll see what happens. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter what post pre-nest Luke, and you know what else? It doesn't matter. They've already won. Okay, yeah. They're playing on the grandest stage of them all, in the greatest amateur event that's ever been created. It goes to say what type of company Callaway Golf is, and for them to team up with our community to put this on annually, and hopefully that it continues. But this team's won in my book. It doesn't matter really what happens tomorrow. Like again, I want to end this like the Grandaddy is framed around the competition, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I agree with
you. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. But since most of the
win or lose, they've already won.
They've already won. But the thing is that most of the form cannot relate to like putting your arm around a clown in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert, in paradise, take a picture. Most of the form can't relate to comfort stations and eating breakfast with Roger freaking Cleveland, right?
RFC.
But they can't. But people can relate to competing. Okay, so this is why we talk a lot about the competition, but it doesn't really matter. So, that's all I've got to say. I hope they win tomorrow. I hope they sleep well tonight. I can't wait to follow along. And it's been a whole lot of fun breaking it down with you after every day.
Absolutely. Good luck tomorrow to Team THP. Good luck to the Zoot crew. But I'm with you. It's gonna be a fun follow tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
And you'll see us back for the Morgan Cup.
Yep, for the Morgan Cup.
So y'all take it easy. Later, guys.
Later.